Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today I'm playing another Total War Warhammer 2 Battle Replay. So, as you can see, I'm playing as the vampire counts. And, yeah, let's count them. No, so, I'm against High Elves. So I'm playing against a friend of mine, Strigid. He's been on the channel a few times. He doesn't have a YouTube channel or anything. But, yeah, we tend to test out builds with each other and stuff. So, yeah, basically, I try to avoid the usual, you know, Terror Guys spam kind of thing. Because, frankly, dragons will just mess them up. Especially Star Dragons, like, you know, from a previous replay, had a Star Dragon fight 2 Terror Guys with no problems, so, yeah, I'm not going to bother trying to win the Air Force fight. So instead I thought I'd just win the ground fight. So I've got 3 units of Graveguard, just the standard ones, but they're very formidable. And I've also got 3 units of Crypt Ghouls, because these guys are quite quick, so I've got a lot of, you know, sort of flanking, but also they poison, which is quite nice, so I find them really useful to sort of supplement the front line. Also, I've got 2 units of Khan Wraiths, so these guys would be really handy, because they don't have a lot of magic attacks, really. I mean, the only really thing like that they've got the Dragon, the Phoenixes, and the Tyrion Chariot. Their missile attacks are actually magic, but generally they don't have a lot of magic attacks. Their front line, you know, no spearmen or like the Phoenix Guard, nothing. So it's quite interesting. I think it's quite useful to bring these guys. Also, the Terror is quite useful for the cheaper units, to be able to terror out things. Also, I've got 2 corpse carts. These guys don't tend to be huge targets. People see just the corpse cart and don't tend to go for it, but they only cost 500 and they give loads of ambient healing, which means I don't need to really bring a second spellcaster. You know, Vlad can kind of handle it. So obviously that brings me to the fact we got Vlad. So this guy, he will just do crazy damage, and with that 90% physical resist, you know, like ward save that he's got, it's crazy. So he can duel against even Tyrion pretty damn well. So he's well worth bringing in this matchup, I think. And also over here, you can see I have the Chillgeists, and I also have the Dire Pack. So the Dire Pack, I think, is so good in this matchup, and you'll see why. Also, I have Tharix Reavers. So here you can see these guys are fantastic. We bring up the stats. You know, not hugely great, right? But they regenerate, which is pretty fantastic. So they're just generally really good. They're more anti-infantry than anything else. So obviously against like Dragon Princes and stuff, I need to just run away. But that's fine. So over here, you can see Strigg has brought a Sun Dragon. So Sun Dragon, I think, is a very good pick. That breath attack will just melt through like a whole unit of Graveguard, no problem. And yeah, just there, you know, having them just sort of dive down, fight some stuff and fly off, they can do major damage. So I think it's always worth bringing a dragon in this matchup. Also, the Swordmaster Hoeth, they can just kill Graveguard without any problems. These guys are so formidable, but very expensive. Also, he's got a couple of units of Spearmen on the edges, which will obviously be useful for, you know, dealing with my cavalry. So obviously, you know, if I got Blood Knights or something, it's useful to have something cheap to, you know, get in their way. As well as that, he's got a load of ranged, but of course they're all lower than Seaguard, which I think is essential. He hasn't got the ones with shields, because he doesn't have to worry about sort of, you know, my missile attacks, seeing as how I don't have any. But these guys are really formidable. They'll do loads of damage, really good range, so we can get a load of early damage in, which would be really good. And if I did bring all the Terrorgeists, then obviously they can back up the dragon. So if the dragon stays in the air fighting Terrorgeist, these can all shoot at it. You know, because they don't have armor piercing, but they don't need it in this matchup. So really useful, and they have spears, so they can actually fight off zombies really well, and they can also fight off any cavalry I send into the back of them, really. So these guys, very, very versatile in this matchup. Also for his heroes, he's got Noble, so great anti-large, always useful in this matchup. He has Tyrion, so obviously with the Sunfang, he's going to have a great like tool for just taking out swathes of undead. And there's so much stuff weak to fire, it's very useful. So Tyrion, real trooper. And also has a Lawmaster of Hoeth, so he gets some healing, he has a Spirit Leech, which is always great against vampire counts. So he's got some great tools here. So let's speed things up and see how it goes. So I'm just going to send these guys straight down the pipe, because, well, why, you know, why do any shenanigans here? Also, I'm making sure I'm in the trees here, just to sort of avoid him knowing when I'm going to strike. You know, it's easy to sort of forget about people, micro something, and suddenly I rush out the trees. It just gives him less time to react, you know. So that's always useful. So here you will see he is probing for an early breath attack, and honestly I think in this matchup, with all the healing that, you know, the vampire counts have got, I think you're better using the, sort of waiting for things to get in combat, then use the breath attack, because here, I'm watching out for it, I know he's going to try it, so I dodge, and look, barely take any damage, and that's a breath attack that could have wiped out an entire unit of Graveguard. So you're better using that when things are in melee, because things will take some initial damage, their morale will start to slip, you hit them with massive damage, and they'll just start crumbling straight away. So it's huge. It is so powerful. So that was a bit of a waste, unfortunately, but it's well worth trying on Khan Wraiths. Because, yeah, these guys, you know, with all the physical resist, you want to see what you can do. So here, a Spirit Leech comes down, and you'll see, he'll actually end up on full health at the end of this. And that was a miscast, so yeah, he's taken more damage than I have so far. But of course, this will put me more towards my healing cap. So here, this is exactly what I wanted, so I sent these guys out ahead so they can absorb all the arrow fire, because they're ethereal, they'll resist a lot of this damage. And you see, even then, like, it does a fair bit. So, rather these guys than any of these. So here, Dragon dives down, immediately does a ton of damage, because, I mean, with that fire, like those fire attacks he's got, it'll do a lot of damage to the Khan Wraiths. So I'm charging the back, try and bother them, and I'm actually going to send these die pack back around to try and get on the Sun Dragon, because these guys are anti-large. So over here, I'm starting to deal with these spearmen, and I'm actually going to rear charge with these guys, because I want to just basically just clip his wings a bit. So that's what I was kind of doing with these spearmen, but these ones are just ripe. So I also use an Invocation of the Heck to try and keep the Khan Wraiths in the fight, because these guys can be useful, honestly. So here, Crypt Ghouls are coming in to back him up, but I've got a lot of stuff just pinned here. And here, a really unfortunate breath attack, because my unit was split in two. So he sort of aimed for in-between. At least the dragon aimed for kind of in between the two blobs of Hex Raids. Well, Jillgeist. But you can see it still did like half their health. So imagine if that had hit full on. That would have been the unit wiped out. So I was pretty bold to have brought them, to be honest. But you can see doing quite a lot of damage to their infantry over here. And they focus a lot of attention. Whereas over here, those spearmen have got completely wiped out and have barely taken any damage. So the Crypt Ghouls managed to get in the back. They're bogging down the Lawmaster, and now I'm getting a nice rear charge into his Loathen Seaguard. You can see on the charge, there's a ton of damage. Barracks Reavers, they got 60 charge bonus, which is huge. So that's very impressive. But you see the front line, those Graveguard have already been wiped out, barely touched the Lawmasters. Sorry, the Swordmasters. Same is happening over here. These Swordmasters just wreck Graveguard. Here, excellent breath attack. You see, leadership goes down on basically everything here. So I lose the Jillgeists almost straight away. Luckily, that did break the Spearmen. And now, I've got the Khan Wraiths and my Dire Pack chasing this Sun Dragon. So the Sun Dragon, he's not quick enough to escape these guys. So I can stay on him forever here. So he's not going to be able to take off, and he is taking massive damage. So that's really good for me. And over here, continuing to clip the wings here. I don't want these guys to be shooting arrows at me all day. So I'm just chipping away at them, using Varric Reavers just to keep charging. So, very useful. So you see here, you know, one corpse cart is taking a bit of damage, but it's not doing too bad. Sun Dragon's being chased off, and you see it's taking another huge chunk of damage, just being chased by the Dire Pack. He really needs to path through the, you know, the Swordmasters or something. So here, I raise some zombies and give them a nice rear charge. So I was hoping that'd do more to their leadership, but these guys are they just don't give up quickly. So a beautiful Invocation and a Heck, Overcast hits most of my army, which is really good. Here, I've got the Khan Wraiths fighting the Loathen Seaguard. That's fine. You know, they've done their job already. And it keeps the Loathen Seaguard from shooting at anything, including my corpse guards, because I want to keep them alive, honestly. So I moved him out of the way of his Lawmaster and his Swordmasters. So now I've just got Crypt Ghouls bogging them down, and I'm getting a load of ambient healing. Crypt Ghouls about to go by the looks of it, though. So here, another charge into the Loathen Seaguard. They're faced the other way now, so another beautiful rear charge. They're completely sandwiched, it's going to do a ton of damage. Those Loathen Seaguard got wrapped up as well, and the dragon is dead, so that's great. And all the while, Vlad has been fighting Tyrion, and Vlad has all of his health. Obviously he's getting very close to his healing cap now, but still, he just dumpstered Tyrion. It's ludicrous. When I was fighting this, I actually thought that was techless. It was only later I went, oh my god, that's Tyrion, and he just got dumpstered. I probably wouldn't have charged him with Vlad early in the fight if I'd known that it was Tyrion, because I honestly didn't like Vlad's chances, but nope, turns out, no problem. So here, I'm actually chasing him with the Varric Reavers to make sure he doesn't come back, and I'm actually going to Dire Pack on him instead, and use Varric Reavers for more useful things, because these guys have done their job. So, but I don't want him coming back. I'm just going to get rid of him. So now, more Swordmasters are coming in to try and finish off, well, zombies and Khan Wraiths and things. So here, they're definitely going to win this engagement. That Noble can dumpster that Corpse Guard in no time. But luckily, he's not, you know, aggressive trying to get him. He's just wrapped up in these Khan Wraiths that are crumbling, unfortunately. Over here, got Varric Reavers just finishing off any units, and everything else just surrounded. I'm kind of content the fact that he doesn't have enough units now to do the damage that my Corpse Carts are replenishing, you know? So, yeah, a lot of spells are coming down on Vlad, though. You see he's getting very close to his healing cap, and actually the Lawmaster Howarth with his anti-infantry bonus, he's going to do some serious damage to Vlad. This is a very dangerous fight, considering how close I am to, you know, actual death here. So, pretty grim. But that's fine. It's fine. You know, it's cool. So here, I'm, yeah, again, just cycle charging here. Unfortunately, I targeted the Noble. Really, I should have targeted the Swordmaster, so I do correct that. I'm quite happy for the Noble to be fighting the Corpse Cart at this point, because the Corpse Cart's on his own, he's going to get destroyed, and I don't think that these two bonuses stack. So this one is doing the job, and is safe. So this one can just be bait for the Noble for a while, and that's fine by me. Though I do get another Invocation of the Heck, and now he's doing great. So anyway, so here now Swordmaster's finally starting to go, which is a shame, they're getting terrified. They're not immune to psychology, so that's pretty great. Over here, Tyrion's still being hounded. Get it? Hounded. Anyway, so yeah, and everything starts to crumble at this point. Just army losses hits, and that's too much. So if we get in the replay and see what happened. So here you can see Swordmaster Hoeth just wreck. They are so good. Usually, I'd recommend bring Wind of Death. Right, get them bogged down by cheap crap, and use Wind of Death. You can take him out basically in one hit. But that is cheesy as hell. So I don't tend to do that when I'm trying out builds and things with a friend of mine. It just seems a bit cheap. You know, we do want to have fun at the end of the day. But, you know, you can take them out very quickly. But the way I did it is I basically just left these guys alive until the end. I just dissected the rest of the army, because I knew army losses would trigger. Because, I mean, you know, these spearmen did basically nothing. The Loathen Sea Guard, I managed to get in behind them and did so much work to them. And, you know, these small amount of kills, that's not really excusable. You know, it's not like they were shooting at one big target. It's not like they spent all the time shooting at Terrorgeists or something. No wonder they got so few kills. No, they just got wrecked. You know, I just managed to completely surround them. So, yeah, numbers, I think, is definitely good with the vampire count, especially when you got, like, healing everywhere. So, I think it's really good. And you can see Varric's Reavers, using them to cycle charge constantly is just incredible. These are a massive threat. You've got to take them out as quickly as possible. I don't know what they could have brought to do that, actually. Malcosmist Fight Miasma would have helped. Lawmaster got that, right? I can't remember. I think they do. They got something like that. I'm sure they've got it. Anyway. But yeah, they're a big threat. You need to take them out early. The Chillgeists, he dealt with them beautifully, right? Getting the dragon on them, and then using the Sunfang just to you know, wipe them out. That was huge. That was really useful for him. Also, you know, one unit of Khan Wraiths just got focused the entire time. But by the end of it, I still had this really healthy unit of Khan Wraiths that he didn't really have anything left to stop it. So it's pretty huge. So I kind of like this build, but I'm not entirely sure how it'd work. You know, against every high elf build. I think I did luck out a bit. That, you know, is sort of just the one dragon that I was able to chase off, and then the rest I could just overwhelm. But Vlad fighting Tyrion, I still can't get over that. He cleaned up. Like, Tyrion just got wrecked. So that was fun. So anyway, so thanks, Triggered. It was a fun game. And, yeah, I recommend both a lot. But yeah, Tyrion Chariots. They have magic missiles. I looked it up just before coming to this replay, because I wanted to see what options they had against ethereal units. And I never would have thought Tyrion Chariots. But yeah, being able to run them through sort of just cheap vampire counts infantry, and being able to just shoot at things, I think that's interesting. It's definitely worth trying. So if any of you guys have tried that out, let me know. I'd be interested to know how well that does. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.